Oh, my neck. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a story time about our wedding. Just try your hardest to minimize the noise in the background. It's really hard to do a story time with good lighting in here because the only good lighting is in our lounge room and everyone likes to talk. My voice is a little bit nasally because I haven't been well. I got hit with a virus and I gave it to Siaosi. But basically I've been coughing, I've been having snotty nose, runny nose, all of that fun stuff. Okay, so Siaosi doesn't want to be in our video because he's watching rugby, as you can see in the back. My lipstick rubbed off because I was eating, but anyways. So, on our wedding day, now it was pretty interesting. Can you guys be quiet? I'm trying to do a story time. So on our wedding day, it was hectic. I don't know why I had this big plan in my mind, like it was gonna be like a white wedding when my family is far from westernized. And basically I had a plan to book out a room in Tano so that we could sleep there the night before and, you know, get ready. And then when I brought this idea up with my parents, my mom in particular, she was like, well, who's gonna do all of the, you know, setup and all of this crap? So I was like, all right, well, let's scratch that idea. But the only thing that I was worried about was because of my wedding dress. Like, everyone, if you're from Samoa, if you're not from Samoa, basically it's like summer all throughout the year, like practically. It feels like 30 plus degrees every single day. And I just pictured myself on the wedding day, you know, rushing around, feeling stressed, and I knew that I'd be sweating my ball sacks off, and I just didn't want to get ready that way. I wanted to have aircon and all of that. Even the night before, like, we were getting ready, I just couldn't believe it. Like, I was looking after our family shop and I was sitting in the shop like, I cannot believe I'm getting married tomorrow. I should be out like celebrating my last day as a non-married woman. Didn't have any hands or anything like that. Was just sitting there in the sun watching the shop, watching our dairy shop or whatever you call it. And as the sun went down, I just couldn't believe it. I was just kept thinking, this time tomorrow I would be a married woman. Like, I just couldn't believe it. And then even when the day came, I woke up in the morning and I was like, oh my god, today is the day. And usually, I don't know what it's like for every other married woman, but I just felt like it was an ordinary day because everyone made it feel like an ordinary day for me. There was nothing special or anything like that. Can't do a video in this house. Everyone be quiet from now on. Then that morning that I woke up, I didn't feel nervous. Well, I felt nervous and stressed because I bought all of the centerpieces and I brought them from Australia, took them all the way to Samoa, and I had this idea in my head and I felt like I was the only one that knew the idea. So I had to be there, like set up everything, and my mum was stressed, my dad was stressed, like Siaosi and I were both stressed because we bought all the food the day, like I think 2 days before, and we just weren't sure whether it was going to be enough. My parents were the cooks and the chefs on our wedding day, and the dictators in the background regarding the food. And then Siaosi was like here, there and everywhere, and I was trying to set up the reception area, which was my grandmother's falikene, and which is like this big house, and it has, I'll put a photo on it if I can find it, but I tried to set that up, and then like everyone, it was just such a mess. You know how like Samoans, if you tell them I want it this way, they will say no, this way's better, this way's better. It's like, well, hang on, it's my wedding, like I want it the way that I want it. And so many things were going on, like the table settings, I wanted it a certain way, and you know, so many people just like, no, have it set this way, it's better this way. And I just kept telling them like, no. And the biggest thing is like, well, I know that my grandmother's house wasn't that big, but I wanted everyone that I invited to to be there. I didn't want to have some of my cousins out there. After all of the cooking was done, there was nothing else to be done, but there was no room because my aunties and my uncles, they didn't want to have the people that didn't need to be there in the reception place. And I was like, well, they're my family members. Like, I've come all this way. I want them there. So I wanted them to bring in more tables and more chairs that they were there. And they were like, no, we'll just have the people that need to be there. All of the elders and like, so none of my cousins were even a part of it. They all had to sit outside, stand and watch from outside. And then, oh my God, there was this one curtain which was like, our theme was like purple and white and black. And like in different shades of purple as well, like lilac and dark purple, so anything like just purple. And then there was this like really off green curtain, and one of my family members really wanted to put it up so it could block off one side of the neighbors, because she didn't want anyone from that side to be looking in. And it was just this really off, yucky pooey green color, and I was like, it doesn't go with anything. And I was just feeling really stressed, like so stressed that day. I was like, oh my God, are you serious? I really don't want that I don't want that. And I just kept telling her, like, I don't want it, I don't want it. And she's like putting it up, and I was just like, you know what, I just got to the point where I was like, let me just be quiet and let me just go with it. Like, this is everyone's wedding basically. I just accepted that it was everybody's wedding and we were all gonna get married together that day. And I was just so stressed. I was like sweating. 2 hours before the ceremony started, I was still not ready. The cake wasn't there. And by the way, the cake was beautiful, but I had this roll out on the table and the wind kept coming in. It was just flying everywhere, and I had confetti and rose petals, fake rose petals, which were flying everywhere. And that was a disaster. But then I went and got ready. I had a shower, and my sister did my makeup first. And so, like, because the theme was purple, I was just like, she knew makeup, she knows makeup more than I do. So I was like, okay, well, you do my makeup. So we spent like half an hour there. She was like doing all these things to my eyes, and I was like, oh yeah, this feels really good. Must be like, you know, must look nice. At the end of it, like, I don't know if it was finished or whatever, I looked in the mirror and she used purple eyeshadow, and I just remember looking in the mirror and I just bawled into tears, and I was like, oh my God, I hate it, take it off me. Can't you make me look nice? It's my wedding day, being all dramatic. And so I was like, okay, well, just make me look natural. I don't want to look like a clown or anything. I just want, just make me look natural, neutral colors. So we did that, and I ended up really liking it. Then my hair, I was like trying to tell her how to do my hair, and before we left I had sent her the video of the tutorial on how I wanted my hairstyle styled that day, and she was like, oh, it'll be fine, it looks easy peasy. Anyways, it just was a disaster. She just made do with whatever she could, and I was like, well, bloody hell, like, we've only got 1 hour left, just do whatever you can, just don't make me look ugly, basically. Then and then this is the part that pissed me off. Like, my mom came to the appointments with me for my dress like so many times, and the lady had shown her like at least minimum 3 times how to do the corset on the wedding dress. And I just wish that one of my other sisters were there so that they could do it, because I just knew that my mom probably wouldn't remember how to do the corset. My mom came in the room, and then I was like, okay, let's put my dress on. So my mom did the corset, and it was just so terrible. Like, it was loose in areas, and it just wasn't like the way that the lady at the shop did it. And I went 3 times or maybe 4 times to the shop, and the lady tied it up and showed my mum each time, and it just wasn't the way that, I just didn't feel nice in my dress. And then so I just told my mum, like, you're not doing it right, like, and I just wish that I could somehow come out of my body and tie it for myself, but I couldn't. So that I had a big cry, and then my mom took it off, did it again, and then my sister came. My sister tried to do it, and then my sister, it was like worse, I think. It just was loose in areas. Like, you're supposed to tie it, weave it in, like pull it, weave it in, pull it, weave it in, pull it. And are you serious?
Hi everyone.
You don't want to be a part of our video, so get out.
My wife describing our wedding time.
Then, yeah, my sister came in, she tried to do it twice, and I was like, you're not doing it right, like it was loose where the bust was, and like, I don't know. And I'm like, it's not right, it's not right. Anyway, so then I just bawled my eyes out again. I had the biggest hissy fit, and I was like, it's not right, you guys suck it. Stomping my feet like a big drama queen. And then I just remember my sister telling me while I'm crying my eyes out on my wedding day, she actually did that. She was like, you just a fat suck. Oh my gosh, I could have, and she was meant to be, she was my maid of honor, guys. I just wanted to pounce on her and rip her hair out and be like, you're the worst maid of honor in my whole entire life. But I didn't. I just kept crying and crying and stomping my feet, and I just felt like ripping the dress up and just being like, we're just going to the courthouse and we're eloping. But I didn't. Calm down. My other sister jumped in and was like, well, you know, what is it? What do you want me to do? So I had to explain to her step by step. Eventually they all came back together. Pulled, weaved, and then we got there. Anyways, it wasn't exactly how it was in the shop, but I was just like, you know what, let's go with it. I've got half an hour until I'm meant to be in that aisle. I got to the church where we were getting married, and it was just across the road from my grandmother's house in Samoa, in Fasitotai, and it was really weird. Like, I don't know, we didn't ever rehearse or anything like that. We didn't have a what we call it, rehearsal, whakaikainga, and we didn't have any of that. I just didn't know what I was meant to do, like, and no one was helping me out. Hello, gosh. Anyway, so then it was sort of like really weird. I just pictured myself walking down the aisle, which didn't happen. They just had 2 chairs of us. There was no music playing, but every way that I had pictured my wedding, it did not go. Like, every single thing that I had planned did not come to pass, other than we got married. And so on the ceremony part, we had chairs which we sat down on, and like, it was just really weird. The pastor kind of just preached about love, and then we got up and we had to say our vows, which I took very seriously. I was looking Siaosi in his eye, as nervous as I was. There was not many people there in the church because they all waited at my grandmother's house for the reception, and my parents were there. And though I just remember seeing like all these cameras and these like iPads and phones being recorded in our ceremony, but I have not seen one of them to date. I don't know where any of them are. I've never seen any of the photos from them or anything. My parents didn't think to take any photos. My photographer, which was meant to be there to take photos, which was my sister, on my brother's good quality camera, she wasn't there. And it only went for 30 minutes, and then straight after that, like, there was still no camera. It was just all a blur, really. Like, thinking back to it, I'm just like, why didn't I ask so many questions? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do this? But it's like, when you're in the heat of the moment, you don't think about those things, and you just go with it. And so when we came out, like, all these people was like, let's take photos, let's take photos. I still haven't seen those photos. People were taking photos of us on our way out. Like, I just wish that a photographer was there, or somebody was there to initiate all of that stuff. Like, I don't want to have to think about that stuff. I felt like I was carrying this whole wedding around my back, doing everything myself. I don't even have a photo with my own parents on my wedding day, or with my grandmother. And then as soon as the wedding finished, we jumped into the car with my maid of honor, which was my sister, and Siosi's best man, which was Galanga Alofipo, which is actually his nephew. And then we went down to Mulifalua at the wall, and yeah, so we just took photos there, and it was just really weird. Like, there was only the 4 of us there, and so we couldn't get a full shot with all 4 of us. It had to be either 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, whatever it was. Went back to the reception, everyone was there waiting for us, everyone was already seated, we just went up. Basically, I just felt like everyone was just doing the plans for us. Nothing went to plan. I set up an itinerary, which, like, you know, wasn't even considered. The playlist, I started putting a playlist together like a month before I went to Samoa for our wedding, and that wasn't used. At the end of the day, at the end of the reception, you know, everyone took our centerpieces that I brought from Australia, and they thought it was alright to take it home. And I mean, I was like, you know what, whatever, just take it, take what you want. With saying that, I am very grateful that I did have the people, my family members there, my aunties and my uncles, my cousins that helped out. They were a massive help. I'm not saying they weren't, they were a very massive help, and I was very grateful for my parents and everyone that basically helped and made our day a special day, even though it didn't go the way that we had planned, and you know, it was a little bit hysterical. It still was a very nice day. At the end of the day, we got married and we celebrated it with our loved ones. I don't want you guys to think that I didn't have a very good wedding. I did have a good wedding. We both enjoyed our wedding day. Just, it wasn't what we pictured. It wasn't what we had planned. But as I said, at the end of the day, we are married. And I want to leave you guys on this note. I know it was a little bit lengty, but you guys had to get the nitty-gritty details. Of my perspective, you know, the ceremony, the wedding, it can be big, but that's not the thing that matters. You can have a big wedding and you can put a lot of money into it. You know, everyone can be talking about your wedding, but at the end of the day, it's not the wedding day or the ceremony or the amount of money that was put into it that matters. It's your marriage. So invest in your marriage. It's not about having a big wedding. It's about the quality of your marriage. Anyways, that's my story time for our wedding day. If you have any questions or if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Make sure you turn on the notification bell. And if there are more things that you want to hear about, then be sure to comment them below as well. We'll see you next time. Bye.